Hello, Scorpio. So here for your reading, we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Six of Swords, the Hermit, and for your reverse challenging position, you have the Six of Pentacles, and for your suggested outcome, you have the Page of Cups. So, I feel like you have been working very hard and diligently towards whatever goal. This could be about your job or whatever, but you've been really focused and working on something, and you've been kind of pouring your all into it. But I think you're now going through a period where you're realizing whatever you might have been doing, maybe you weren't getting the full fulfillment that you had expected, and you're kind of realizing you might have to leave something behind. I kind of think that this could be representative of a person. This could be a job, it could be a situation, but I kind of feel like it might be like a friendship or something that you might have poured a lot of your time and energy trying to help somebody out. And I think you might not really have gained quite what you expected. But with the Six of Swords, it's all about kind of having to leave something behind. You know it's better for you. You're kind of going towards more of a calmer, stable situation, but there's always a sense of a little bit of loss and sadness from leaving it behind, from moving forward. But it's what you need to do. And this could be somebody helping you with this, helping you kind of move forward from whatever situation you've been kind of engaging in. And the Hermit, I feel this in your case, it's representing you kind of going into having a moment of solitude, seeing you reflecting on the situation or thinking. So I feel like you're having a moment away from whatever you've been really, really working hard on. And you might be realizing that you have to maybe take something in a new direction, obviously. So I think this is what it's saying. And I feel like the root of this issue might be that you could have been giving too generously to a situation, giving too much, and it actually left you drained. It could be financially draining you, but for some reason you need to kind of now give to yourself. So something was kind of, I don't want to say somebody was taking advantage of you, because it could be a situation, it could be your job, it could be anything, but you've been giving very, very diligently to something, putting a lot of time and effort into some situation, and I feel like you didn't quite get the reward, and in fact now it's negatively affecting you, because that's what this represents. It's kind of like you need to give to yourself. You've been giving too much to others or other things, and now you need to give some to yourself, because this could be that you might be kind of compiling some debt in a sense. It could be a financial thing that you've been giving so much to somebody else, and now that you are actually in a position where financially it could be stressing you out a little bit, or some detrimental to you in some outlook or some avenue or aspect is what I wanted to say. But with the Page of Cups, and this is being your recommended for you what to do. Now the pages, they're full of youth. They have this like youthful view of the world. But he can represent, I think you might have some kind of creativity. I think you need to let some creativity flow for you. And I think during the Hermit mode, this is a perfect time to kind of have that, tap into your creative, inspirational aspects of yourself, because I feel like through some kind of creative process or a creative mindset or thinking about things a little different, I think you're going to kind of come out of this much better. So I think you just need to kind of like allow yourself that creative process to take place. So because he's kind of represents ideas and inspirational things kind of coming out of the blue. And I think sometimes when you're in Hermit mode and not really focused on whatever this like work or this thing you've been pouring yourself into, or feeling sad that you have to leave it behind. But when you're in this Hermit mode and it's kind of a little bit about you thinking about you, I feel like sometimes we allow ourselves then these moments of letting our creativity flow. So I think you just need to kind of see things a little differently, maybe not the traditional ways you've been doing something, but kind of think outside the box a little bit. And I think you're going to get some really good answers or really good ideas from that, because he's all connected to emotions as well. So you might wind up having like different something that kind of sparks your interest and kind of rejuvenates you. But it could be like a different type of project or situation or something. But something, I feel like this is always a good for kind of, I always think like when you have a new creative idea or something, it kind of, I always love that. I always feel like it gives me something to think about, and I kind of get excited for it. So it kind of makes you happy because you get to think about something new or a different way of doing something. So I think that is definitely positive. So, okay, let's continue with your oracles. Now you got opportunities. Unfurl like a fern even without warm sunlight. Now I feel like this goes with the Page of Cups. I feel like you're going to have some kind of idea or something's going to spark in you, and it's going to kind of lead to maybe something like a better opportunity, whatever that might be for you. But I think you're going to get that from the hermit mode. I think something, by doing something a little differently or taking some time away from focusing on this work situation or this thing that you've been really pouring all your energy into, I think you're going to I think sometimes you need to kind of have a moment, and then like opportunities that you didn't realize were there, but now you realize, oh, you know what, that's not actually a bad idea. So I definitely think something's coming towards you with that, that's going to be pretty exciting. And I feel like it's going to be something that you're going to be emotionally excited about. So now, next up, you have very soon. Clearly decide what you want so that it comes your way now, and pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Now, I feel like this red flag, I feel like this is you're gonna have this red flag moment, and I do feel like something with what you've been really pouring your time and investing in might not be quite beneficial for you. And I think you're gonna have this. I think you're gonna realize this red flag, and I think this is really going to come in between these two cards here when you're moving away from something and you're kind of like sad about it a little bit, because it could be something that you were really excited about and maybe it's not like working out properly, or could be somebody's not quite on the up and up and you're starting to realize that maybe they're just draining you and they have no intention of helping themselves in a sense. Sometimes you have friends where they're the perpetual victim. They're always just, oh, woe is me, but they never really want to help themselves. They want everybody else to help them. And sometimes it gets a little tricky because there's a point where it's like, you know what? You got to really stand up for yourself. You got to figure it out yourself. You know, you can only do so much for somebody. So some red flag is I believe you're going to realize, I'm pretty sure you already know there's a red flag. There's something that's a little bit funny. And I have a feeling that that's going to kind of spur this Six of Swords kind of moving away, having to move on in a new direction, and then having this hermit time to figure out, well, what am I going to do about, how am I going to go about the situation in the future? But I think this is saying very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. I feel like this is really going to go with this hermit and this Page of Cups, because I feel like by you taking some time, I feel like some opportunity, something is coming your way, or you're going to think of something in a different way, and it's going to kind of help you out. And I feel like I definitely think it's going to be obviously in the near future, but I think it's going to come through this hermit phase for you where you're taking a little bit of time and then having this like kind of inspirational sparks come into you. So continuing on, you have find your fire and do not be afraid to burn bridges that deserve to fall. What screws us up most in life is the picture in our head of how it's supposed to be. And ignorance makes you a tool to be used. Knowledge makes you a weapon to be feared. So, I really feel like this reading could be indicating there's somebody that you've been really, really trying to help in some kind of way. And it's unfortunately not going quite as you had expected. So, but I think find your fire and do not be afraid to burn bridges that deserve to fall. I really feel like that is going to go. I'm going to put that over here with the Eight of Pentacles, because I think whoever or whatever you've been pouring all his time, energy, finances, hard work, whatever it is that you're doing, pouring into something or someone, and you're not really getting the results you've expected, or you're not being treated how you thought you were going to be expected, or they're not really standing up for themselves or doing what they need to do to better themselves. I think if you feel like somebody's using you, I feel like this is kind of saying that you might have to burn that bridge, but you know, if it is what it is, you know? sometimes you kind of have to set fire to that, But I think this is saying whatever this is, I feel like if this is somebody using you, that bridge deserves to go down. Because I kind of feel like with this reading, I kind of feel like it's something like that, and I feel like you're sad about it. It could be a relationship. This could be a partner that you maybe you were hoping to have some kind of real serious long-term situation with, like marriage and children, and for some reason they're just not getting it together, and you've really did everything for this person. You've tried, you've been in their corner, you've been everything for this person, and they're just not getting it together. And I think like you're kind of having that moment of like, you know what? This sucks. I deserve better. This is not working. So, and I think then in that you're going to be going through the hermit phase and you're going to figure it out. You're going to be fine. But I kind of think that I really feel like this is to do with somebody. But this definitely could be to do with like a situation. Because I mean, people are everywhere. In every situation, there's somebody involved. So anyway, so ignorance makes you a tool to be used. Knowledge makes you a weapon to be feared. So I'm kind of wondering if you somehow uncover a little shady business. Something kind of comes to light for you this week. And that's where the pay attention to the red flags would come in, because I feel like there's something that's going to kind of come to light, or it probably has come to light. And sometimes you just want to pretend like it's not really happening because you're like, oh no, it's okay. Or maybe if I do this, it'll help them more and they'll change. Unfortunately, some people just never change. But I feel like this is saying, don't be the tool that just keeps getting used. You got to take what you know and apply it. And you have to make sure that you're okay and stand up for yourself when you need to, And I think what screws us up most in life is the picture in our heads of how it's supposed to be. So I feel like, let's just say this has to do with a relationship. I feel like, we have these expectations and you might be daydreaming, oh, we're going to get married, we're going to have the children, we're going to have the white picket fence, we're going to have the dog, we're going to have some plants, you might be kind of having this like idea of how it's supposed to be in your brain, and it's not happening at all. And that idea or concept, or even if it's a friendship, like, oh, we're going to go on a friend's cruise or something, we're going to go here, we're going to go there, or whatever it is, something is not living up to your expectations. And unfortunately, sometimes you have to let go of the dream, like the daydream, the hope. You have to let go of the hope and kind of come back down to the reality. And I feel like with this Six of Swords, I really feel like this is you kind of maybe even mourning the what ifs, what if, or your daydream or the thing that you really want, you're realizing it's just not really going to be tangible in reality. And you might be having to like swallow that pill and move forward and realize that, what, this isn't going to work out with this person or this situation the way I was really hoping or envisioning. And it's time for me to just reinvent the wheel a little bit and figure out kind of the next steps. So I think this is kind of heavy for you guys, Sorry about that, Scorpio. So, and letting go, you have letting go. So obviously there's something that you kind of have to let go to move forward on. And contemplation. So letting go, I'm going to put with the Six of Swords over here. I'm going to stick it over here. But that's going to go with the Six of Swords because I feel like that's really reinforcing that message. And contemplation is definitely going with the Hermit, because he's all about taking time to look inwards and figure out what's going on with himself. And sometimes you need to have that little break and that change up of routine in a sense to kind of see things for what they really are. So, and I definitely think the Page of Cups, I definitely think you're going to kind of, because he really links to emotions as well, and being excited about something, but it's an emotional excitement. So it's something that you're like kind of excited about, or an emotional creativity or emotional new idea, or something that has something to do with like your passion and your emotions. So I definitely think with him being here, I definitely think this is positive, but I think you're going to have to kind of give something up or change directions in a sense to move forward. And unfortunately, we have to do that time and time again through life. Sometimes it's harder than other times, but it's what it is. We were always reinventing the wheel in some degree. So that's what's going on. So think of your question for the Magic 8 Ball, Scorpio. We'll get to that in a second. But first, we shall ask we shall find out the age-old question of what spirit of the dish shall be with you guys. Here we go. You got the classic. So it's the spirit of the Coca-Cola. So there you go. It's the classic Coke. So that's what you got. Now, let's see. For those curious, what dinner and a movie does the universe recommend for me? Let's find out right now. What dinner and a movie for my Scorpios? You guys got... Ooh, this one's kind of... Okay. Ooh, you got Italian and romance. There you go. Which sounds really romantic, too. Because didn't those, like those dogs with the pasta, they were eating the Italian food, and it was like a romantic movie. So maybe, I don't know why I thought about that. What was that movie's name? I always forget that name of the movie. The Lady and the Tramp, that's what it was. Anyway, so you got Italian and romance. And then, let's see what little numbers and letters for you guys. W E X O P M and H, and then you got 0, 7, and 3. Okay, and then let's get a little stone. Okay, 3 kind of stuck in my hands. So you have focus, nurture, and wealth. So I definitely think the wealth one I'm going to kind of stick on the 6 of Pentacles, because that's about giving too much. And you're not giving enough to yourself. You're actually giving too much where it's now detrimental for you. So I think that's having to do with kind of, I think you're giving too much in some capacity. It doesn't necessarily have to just mean financial. It could be emotional. It could be any type of giving where you're giving too much and now it's affecting you negatively. Now, I think with the focus, I think nurture, I feel like with the Hermit, the nurture is going to kind of come, because I feel like, maybe I'm going to stick them on the 6 of Swords, because I feel like you need nurturing. When you're having those 6 of Swords moments, you have to do something that's going to better yourself, but it's kind of sad. You have to always leave something behind, something that was familiar, even if it wasn't great. It wasn't a great familiar. It was something familiar. At least you were, sometimes, what do they say? The devil that you know is easier than the devil that you don't. So you're leaving something that maybe was a disaster, but it was a familiar disaster. So you always have that kind of expectation in a sense, even though it was letting you down. But I think you have to leave something, so you might need nurturing during that. But the focus, I feel like with the Hermit and the Page of Cups, I'm going to put the focus on the Page of Cups, because I think you need to focus on kind of letting your creative juices flow, because I definitely feel like there's something, because to me this Page of Cups is always really a great card. It's about just having moments of inspiration, and I just love that. But I think through the Hermit you're going to have these kind of little, but I think you need to focus on yourself. So I definitely think you need to focus on yourself at this moment. Okay, Scorpios, think of your question. We're going to ask the Magic 8 Ball. Here we go. Oh, mystical magical 8 Ball, the mightiest ball of all the balls in the world. What is the answer to Scorpio's question? It is certain. So there you go, guys. The 8 Ball has spoken. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.